firstly, obviously it's a distant memory now, last season in the playoffs. So how quick did you get over that loss and start preparing for this season?
Yeah, it's not easy. Of course, it's not. I think when you have a setback like that and a result like that in that situation, it's not easy. Nevertheless, it's my role and responsibility to get over that quick because we had a new season and new things to prepare for. We did have a plan regardless, both ways. If it had went our way or not. So the organisation side was kind of taken care of. But yeah, if you're just putting things in motion and actually emotionally and mentally dealing with what's happening and what's ahead. So in the end, got over it pretty quickly and heads on this season and preparing the team, squad and club and staff for what's ahead.
There's certainly going to be a lot of competitive sides in the Championship this season, especially those who have come down from the Premier League. How do you make sure that you, with the experience you have of the league already, assert your authority on it?
The only way you can do that is winning games. Comes down to results, regardless of who else is in the league and throughout the league. It's a tough league this year. There's no getting away from that. Teams coming down, teams coming up. Some really, really good teams and big clubs as well. So it's a challenge. Always is. It's a great league. It's a tough league. But the only way we can do anything about that and have an impact on the league is by winning games and winning enough games to be up near the top. So the challenge lies with us.
In terms of transfers, would you say you're fully prepared now, or are you looking to do a bit more business before the window shuts?
I think every manager in the whole country will tell you the same thing at this stage. In terms of always looking to improve the squad. Sometimes things pop up that surprise you and come out of nowhere and might take the opportunity. Other things that plans are in place that you're trying to see if it'll play out the way we want. It's never as simple as you'd like, or certainly I'd like in my position, but you've got to understand the situation and really happy with the squad we've got, with the players we've got, with the boys that we've brought in so far and settled really quickly. So it's a moving jigsaw puzzle, and constantly trying to be as close to finishing it off as you can be, but you're never really finished because you always move on to the next.
Just on McGree, of course, one of the more older guard, perhaps you could say. He's been a very versatile player for you so far since you've been here. What do you expect from him this season?
Yeah, Riley's done great. He's had a big season last season with the World Cup and a big season for us. Terrific player, terrific character and personality and attitude. He's a real example, to be honest, about how you go about your business and look after yourself and train. And obviously hopeful, like every other player, that Riley moves on to bigger and better things in his performance levels, which I'm sure he's capable of, and I know he's capable of. Looking forward to seeing him perform this season.
And finally, just after last season, what's your main aim for this year?
To get better, to improve the football club as a whole. Obviously improve the team and the squad. We want to be out the league. We want to be trying to finish near the top and get out of the league. That's pretty obvious. And we'll see what we can do. It's a long road. It's a long season, and we'll take it step by step.
Afternoon, Michael. Welcome back. Have you missed it?
Just the football. This season.
This season, yes.
Yeah, I think you missed the buzz. I think you missed the. You miss that sense of energy and kind of adrenaline and when it's a real game that matters. I think it's something that you do miss. Of course it is. There is an element of needing a break for the players and for the staff and for everyone at the club to take a deep breath at certain points. But I think it's first game of the season is a special one of every season. Everyone's fresh, looking forward to it, hoping for the very best. We're certainly no different.
And being at home first game of the season, the crowd has been, the fans will be excited for it as well, having been kind of starved of club football through the summer. It's going to be quite an atmosphere at the Riverside, I imagine.
Yeah, I hope so. I think the fans have been amazing since I came. The number of season tickets that we've sold is high, and it's been building through for the last 10 months or so since I've been. And even the support we've had away in pre-season and the numbers of travelling has been incredible. So we know the support that we've got. We need to obviously get off to the start and reward them with results. But I'm really looking forward to being at home and feeling that atmosphere again, and hopefully building on that as we go.
Obviously, last season was a big journey for the fans, for the players, for yourself, getting to the playoffs. How much has that journey? How much does that spur you on this year?
Yeah, of course it does. There's you learn a lot from setbacks, disappointments. You learn a lot from it. You've got to make the most of it and help in the end to make yourself better for it. It's not always easy to do that. Of course, it's not. But I think that's the challenge that faces us. It wasn't enough last year in the end to do what we wanted. So we need to improve. It's what we're trying to do every single day.
And how much are you impressing on the players who were in that dressing room after that semi-final defeat? Just what it would mean to go that one step further and to reach the Premier League?
I don't need to tell the boys that what it means. I think they know that. They're bitterly disappointed to lose out last season, but last season was last season, and now it's a whole new ball game. It's fresh, it's new, some new faces in the group, new teams in the league. You can take a little bit from last season in terms of the positives and the confidence and what we're capable of doing, but we got to go and do that all over again and add to that on top as well.
And in terms of the new faces, obviously there's been comings and goings in the transfer market. How do you kind of keep that togetherness that you had last season in the group? Is that in terms of the players that you go for and their mentality, or is there a way of integrating them, and how does it work?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I think you can get carried away with just talking about players' ability or what position they're in, but actually a big part of what we have here is the togetherness, the spirit of the group's really close and really solid, and that's something that we need to keep and build on if possible. So of course we're really conscious of that when you're looking at players and finding out what they'll bring to not only the team, like I said, because of the ability and what skills they'll bring, but I think what they bring off the pitch as well, and that's something that we're quite big on. Yeah. And
given the campaign you had last time out, do you get a sense that there's been a change in expectation among the fan base about what you achieved this season?
A change, possibly not. I don't know. I think probably at the start of every season, last season, they were sat here at the same time hoping to achieve the biggest things. So, and rightly so for this football club, should be expecting the very best. So, whether it's changed or not changed, it is what it is, and our expectation as a staff and as players is exactly that as well.
Thank you, Michael.
Millwall first up then, Michael. You know what to expect, had them watched a bit in pre-season?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's pre-season is pre-season, so you take some bits from it. It's not always hugely reliable, but of course you can take what you want to take from it. They'll be doing the same with us, so it's pretty obvious. But they're a good team, very good team, well organised, really tough to play against, really effective at what they do. So it'll be a good test for us, first one. Good challenge to see where we're at, physically, mentally, as a group. It's a really tough game, first one at home, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and in terms of, as you said, pre-season is pre-season, you touched on after the Oxford game last weekend, the spark and the intensity. When it comes to, the real thing, the competitive matches, is it just natural that kind of steps up?
I think it is, yeah. I think you can recreate it in certain ways. I think the motivation going into the other games is still there because you know what it is and you know what you try and get out of it. But there's no hiding and there's no recreating that feeling of, full stadium, loud, something on the game, first game of the season, new season, it's fresh, everyone's excited. That's why it's the first game of the season, because that's the feelings it gives.
Yeah. Touched slightly there on last season and the disappointment in how it ended. In terms of is there a balance in terms of kind of potentially using that as motivation, as fuel, but also putting it to one side, and this is, as you say, a fresh start and looking ahead rather than back.
Yeah, you've got to look ahead. You have to look ahead. I think it's you can certainly take things from it. You'll take positives, you'll take negatives, you'll learn things from it, but ultimately it's about what happens next. It always is in football. It's the next game, the next week. We'll take plenty of confidence from what we achieved last season in terms of performances and consistency for a long period of time. We need to tap into that. but yeah, it's a new season, it's all afresh, and now is what counts.
Just on the injury front, anything new this week, or some of the boys who were out, were they back in training this week?
They're back in around a group, some of them, yeah. It can be a real clamber because it's the first game of the season starts and you want everyone fit, and almost it's not a cup final, it's not the end of the road, it's the start of one, so there's a balance in terms of how much you push to get the boys back in the group or back on the pitch rather, and it is a marathon, it's a long season, so we've got to be smart with that.
Yeah, and given some of them missed the majority, if not all, of pre-season as well, it's presumably that a factor in terms of where they're at as well.
Yeah, it all comes into play, how much they've trained, how long they've been out for, the whole situation, so we've got to be smart with that. I'm not saying they won't be ready or they won't be ready for next week or whatever, but whatever the decision, we've got to be smart. It's not just about 1 week or the next week, it's about the whole season and keeping as many players on the pitch as we can.
Just finally from me, we spoke to Carrick yesterday, and on his future, his contract situation, he said he'd love to stay at the club. Some factors not necessarily in his hands. I know I've asked you about it this summer, but from your point of view, from the club point of view, where do you feel that's at that right now?
He's our player, Tuba, and relaxed. Good chat with him this morning, and relax. He's got a contract with us, so it's sometimes when he gets to this situation, I think everyone gets carried away both ways, but it's ultimately he's got a contract with us. We've had a great relationship. He's done great things for me and certainly for the club. So yeah, I'm quite relaxed about it. Yeah, we're trying. You've got an eye in the future and what it looks like. I'm more focused about getting him back in and around the group and being a part of it and getting him fit first and foremost, where he's able to perform and play for us.
Just on contracts, obviously Paddy, one we maybe haven't spoken about, he's in the last 12 months, and there's been a few links over the course of the summer, one this week. What's his situation?
Same. He's our player. Great to have him. I think it's that time of year, isn't it, where this contract situation's knocking about. It's a transfer window, so there's names getting thrown about here, there and everywhere, and I understand that. It is what it is. Until there's anything really going on, and it doesn't concern me. I think it's eyes on the team, getting the boys fit, who's training well, all the boys are training well. Looking forward to the start of the season, really, and at the moment that's fine, no drama.
He's obviously played right back for you since Tommy and Anthony ruled out. What does that say about a player because he's played midfield, he's played just about everywhere for Borough over the years. What's it say about a player when they're able to do that?
Some players can naturally do it. Some, for whatever reason, some players can do it. Other players are kind of more cemented to they play a certain position and do it very well, and they stick to it. That's fine. I think it's just there's been plenty of players over the years who can adapt and play different positions, and obviously as a coach in my position to have that flexibility is important in some areas, and Paddy can certainly done that as he's proven over a period of time and before I got here, and I played with him at United, so I know what different positions and what he's capable of doing.
And obviously we talked at the weekend about the window not ending until 3-4 weeks into the season, whatever it is. But earlier in the summer you were talking about how you want your team or your squad to look from the start of the season. How far are you off that as things stand?
I'll be honest, at the moment I'm happy with what we've got. I'm not satisfied because, as I just said, you're never satisfied. There's always something moving. There's a moving part that you're kind of trying to fit into the situation. But I just say I'm happy with what we have. I think we've got good selection and good variety within the group. We've got freshness. We've got experience. Of course, we're looking to add and improve. So you're never that close or as close as you'd want to be. That's part of the work that needs to go on in the next few weeks as well.
Is anything imminent?
What are you expecting me to say on that one?
Just finally, there's been a lot of talk this summer about the kind of strength of the Championship on paper. Maybe a couple of teams who weren't expected to come down. Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich come up with a lot of momentum. What are your thoughts in general on how the Championship's looking?
Yeah, I think it's in terms of on paper, I think there's strong teams. Obviously, I know Ipswich coming up. I know Kieran really well, so I know what he's capable of in terms of coaching, and he showed that, you know, what he did in the team that he's developed. So I know they'll be a very, very good team, and they'll be strong. And yeah, the obvious ones are the big three that have came down, and 3 big clubs, established Premier League clubs, if you like, that have good players and have, you know, capable of buying and spending decent transfer fees to strengthen again. So that's the challenge. It's nothing new in some ways. That's the league. That's, you know, you face them challenges. It's one that we're looking forward to, and it's you've got to embrace that, you know, and that's just how it is. That's just how it is. And there'll be good games this year. There'll be really good games, big games, and obviously with the Leeds, the Leicester, the Southampton. That's 3 serious football teams coming down. So yeah, good challenge, big challenge, and it'll be interesting to see how the league pans out.